Good morning. Welcome to the virtual home of Calvary Unitarians. Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, if you're visiting for the first time, or the first time in a long time, know that we are glad to have you with us. We come together in beloved community to grow in wisdom, welcome and deepen relationships, and act for a just and sustainable world. My name is Pam Rickey, and I'm honored to be on your board of trustees. I use pronouns she, her, and I come to this church because of the love we hold each other in as we maneuver all the challenges that come our way when we keeping this. Now, wherever we are, let us renew and acknowledge the traditional territories and languages of all whose ancestors were here before us. We recognize our responsibility to be stewards of this and acknowledge that we do so in cooperation with the people of the Blackfoot Confederacy, for whom this Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta is traditional territory. The people of the Blackfoot Confederacy are comprised of the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations. As well as the Dene First Nation, Tsuut'ina, and Nakota First Nation, also known as the Stoney. Alberta's Nakota First Nations comprises 3 clans: Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Wesley First Nations. Mohkinstsis, the Blackfoot word for what is now known as the city of Calgary, is also home to Métis Nation Region 3 of Alberta. In offering a land acknowledgement, we honor those who have long been stewards and accept our shared responsibility for being good caretakers. We acknowledge that Treaty 7 signed September 1877 was entered into as a collaboration between settlers and Indigenous peoples, making us all treaty people. We come together with you today from our church, from our building. It's our first time to try this with the excellent and patient help of our tech people. So we'll be working with this. Please keep your eye on the news to see how we're progressing as we go. And I'd like to invite you also to stay for coffee in breakout rooms after the service.
We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion. To reunite in this sanctuary to share the flow of our hearts with one another. We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountain of joy, to hold each other through our storms of grief, to guide one another through the rapids of transformation, rest together on the ponds of stillness. Together, we honor the spirit of water in its many forms and its life, justice, and responsibility. Good morning. My name is Reverend Shelley Thompson. I'm from Massachusetts. And I am the interim minister here at Untitled. I'm joined this morning by our Director of Religious Education, Sheila Master, our wonderful music director, Jim Ferry, and this morning's worship artist, Amber Keith. Beginning with a special ritual, water communion. Let us recall that were we all here in person, we would each contribute a small amount of water to a shared vessel as a symbol that we each come as whole and holy beings to co-create a greater wholeness that is this beloved faith community. Remembering that shared wholeness, let us give thanks for the life-sustaining blessings of community that have carried us this far through the COVID pandemic. Today, we recommit to one another to pour our loving hearts into our shared ministries, that they may continue to nurture our faith and fill one another with hope. Now, please join us in singing, Swimming to the Other Side.
We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am lost at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection to be my crime. In humanity I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we were given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship the ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever.
That was just beautiful, Jane. That's one of my favorite songs. And some of you might be wondering, who is this masked stranger before you? And it is I, DRE, Sheila McMaster. I have a new haircut and a mask. For those of you who've recognized me by my eyebrows, excellent detective work. Here at the Calgary Unitarians, we often celebrate, the beginning of our new year with water communion. And to me, I've been reflecting on this past year and things I got to do this summer and things I didn't get to do this summer, and the memories, and many of them are wonderful memories of this past year. And one of them is of our retired minister, Reverend Deborah Falk. And so today I've got on this beautiful shawl that was a gift from Reverend Deborah. And so to me, it's like starting our new year with a warm hug. And this year, we're also talking about water as transition and change and ever flowing. And so some of the changes that you see for this year is right here, we're trying out being in the sanctuary and wearing our masks. And some other things that we've been trying out is today I was going to have an all ages outdoor play date with everyone. And then I had to cancel due to thunderstorms because monkey bars and children and lightning don't mix. And so there it is, water again, changing my plans. And some other things, for me, it's about trying to embrace the change of water and trying things out and see what works. And so some things to look forward to in the e-news is I'm going to be doing an all ages. So if you're 5 or 95, we're going to be doing a Soul Matters themed photo club. And we're going to meet monthly on Zoom. So take a look at the e-news for news about that. And also if you're a young adult, 18 to 40-ish, we're going to be doing monthly events again, so keep an eye out for that. And if you don't get our children and youth newsletter and you'd like to, just send me an email, dre@calgaryunitarians.ca. Because another thing about water is it's about connection, and I am so ready to be connected this year. The other thing I was saying about water is so many things, that's why I think it's fabulous. Is I want to share a true story written by Tyler Rear, who works for a nonprofit called Charity Water. And they work to bring clean water to developing countries. And this story to me is water as hope and opportunity. And I love stories also about youth leadership. And the title of this story is called The Most Inspiring 15-Year-Old I've Ever Met. By the time we reached our first village in Mozambique, a small crowd had already gathered around the water point. They were eager to talk about the difference clean water had made in their community. At the front of the pack, neatly lined up in matching blue t-shirts, were 5 members of the local water committee, a team responsible for taking care of water access and educating the community about health and sanitation. One by one, the men and women introduced themselves as a chairman and a mechanic and a tax collector and a health and hygiene officer. And then the final introduction, which came from a seemingly shy 15-year-old girl at the end. My name is Natalia. I'm the president. I don't know what your reaction is to that just now, but I had to pick my job off the ground. I visited more than 25 communities with water, and never had I met a 15-year-old water committee president before. What it came down to was Natalia's education, leadership, and work ethic. Having access to clean water gave her more time to spend in school, and as a result, she'd become better educated than many of the adults in her community. Now she's a leader. At one point on the trip, I asked Natalia's mother what she wanted for her daughter's future. Our dream is for Natalia to become a teacher, she said proudly. Overhearing the conversation, Natalia whipped around to respond, I don't want to be a teacher, I want to be the headmaster. Over and over again, I've met people in the field who've told me that water is life. And I don't think I understood the depth of that right away. I knew that having access to clean water would immediately improve the health and make life easier and safer. But the incredible takeaway for me has been that getting clean water for the first time brings the start of a new life. Healthier kids spend more time in school. Healthier families save money on hospital bills. is exponential. Better opportunities, stronger economics, future leaders, and an end to poverty. Water is where it all begins. I love that story. And I'm amazed that water can be so tangible that we can touch it, we can drink it, the plants and animals need it, but it can also have so much meaning. It can hold memories of the past, our hopes for the future, and always, always represents change. And one change, wonderful change, that I would like to say is the opportunity to get to know our new minister, Reverend Shelley Thompson. And on that note, I'll pass it over to Reverend Shelley for our water communion ritual.
Thank you, Sheila. The deep well of community is the renewable resource for our faith. Through open-hearted giving and receiving, each of us is able to lift up and be lifted in return. When I'm tired, discouraged, wishing I didn't have to wear a mask, when my own cup runs dry, I can come to the well of this beloved community and fill it up again. So renewed, I can share that flowing abundance with others. When I'm burdened by grief or worry, I can wade into the soothing waters and be held by their healing power. The water we gather today represents all of you, your loved ones, everyone you consider a part of your beloved community. Use our chat box and take a few moments to write your names and share the significance of this community in your life. How are you lifted up? And how do you lift up others? While you type, I'm going to come over to our altar. And I've got a great big pitcher of water here. This is all of us. We're going to go into the community bowl together. There we go. We're all in. Very inclusive bowl. It represents our greater wholeness, our sacred oneness with all people everywhere. It's the giant circle of compassion, and it's the we that cradles us all. This bowl is a lot bigger on the inside than it appears. The deep well of beloved community is a renewable resource for our faith. Through open-hearted giving and receiving, we are lifted up and we lift up others. Maya Angelou said, "When we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, we are all blessed." Into this beloved community, we pour our loving kindness that transcends difference. And we receive the blessings of connection and joy. Into this beloved community, we pour in our passion for justice making. And we receive the blessings of purpose and resolve. Into this beloved community, we pour our commitment to truth and reconciliation. It's a splashy one. We receive the blessings of clarity and wisdom. We pour in our accountability to hold one another lovingly in covenant. We receive the blessings of belonging and peace. And we pour in our engaged presence with one another We affirm that we are whole and holy. I'd like you to take this time to reflect on how this community lifts you up, how it creates a sacred container for your joys and your sorrows, your cares and your concerns. Reflect, how is it with your spirit today? How is it with your spirit? Do you have something that you want to share to bless us? Imagine those gifts going into the bowl. Do you have something, a fear, a worry, a concern that you'd like us to help you carry? Imagine that pouring into the loving arms of our community. What blessings do you need to receive from us today? Compassion, love, support. Imagine filling your cup with them and drinking your fill. Jane will give us some musical support for our reflection for a couple of minutes, and you may want to write your reflections in the chat as joys and concerns. When we light our candles, we invoke the spirit of life. We are sending our joys, our concerns, our hopes, our fears, all of our love and our wholehearted being together out into the universe the way the light radiates and never ceases. I light one candle for all the joys shared among us today and those held in our community. I light one candle for the concerns and fears, sorrows, and grief that are among us today, and those held in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. And I light a global candle for our world community, all of the strife and turmoil, this pandemic, all of the ongoing conflict there is. With all our hearts, we hope that all beings may know peace. May it be so.
So as the raindrops fall, individual raindrops fill rivers, lakes, streams, and finally the ocean. So our individual contributions come together and fill the ocean of the love we bring to the world, the social justice work that we do. So we'll now take time to accept the offerings and thank you for the work that we're able to do with your help.
We extinguish our symbolic flame, but not the divine spark that resides within us all. May we go from this place secure in the knowledge that we are held in beloved community and that we have the abundant flowing waters of this beloved community to shower the world with our peace and our hope and our love. Go in peace, go making peace.
On these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my toilet heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth
Friends, thank you so much for having been here with us for this service this morning. Our first one for the worship team and the AV crew back in the building. Big thanks to Mitch and Christopher in the booth today for the fantastic work they did, and to all who are here with us this morning. So it's time for our coffee hour. And since we're all on Zoom, that means virtual coffee hour. I believe that the link to take you to coffee hour has just appeared in the chat area of your Zoom screen. We'll see you there. Thank you so much.